Day 2 South by. Day 2 South by was probably the most representative of how one might imagine a conference of this magnitude going. They started off pretty early. First panel was at 9:30, and the presenter was from Intel Studios. The title of the panel was Immersive Storytelling, Breaking the Fourth Wall. More than actually talking about storytelling, what his talk focused on was some new technology that Intel is working on and this massive stage that they've built out in LA to kind of bring this technology and this filming style to fruition. Volumetric filmmaking. They use voxels instead of pixels, which makes it three-dimensional instead of two-dimensional. And that it sounds confusing because it's really confusing actually. But in short, they're removing the frames in filmmaking. They set up this studio in a way that every angle is covered. Every beam of light is captured from every angle, sort of thing. There's nowhere to put a boom up. There's nowhere to put a cameraman. Like, it's built into the setup. And in this, the challenges that storytellers will face, with this new medium. But with this type of filming, it gives the filmmaker and the people experiencing the technology the opportunity to see from every angle what's happening and interact with it from each angle. It's kind of mind-boggling. But yeah, that was the first thing I did. Right after that, in the next room over, I attended my second panel, which was called Art, Race, plus Open Web VR, the Colored Girls Museum. This panel was very awesome. The Colored Girls Museum is based out of Pennsylvania. It's a physical location, and what they're doing is they've made a browser-based VR representation of the museum. Their goal is to bring this experience to people all over the world in a virtual reality type setting without the limitations of having to have the technology and not being able to afford the technology but still being able to have the experience. The goal is that anyone with the browser can experience this technology, they can experience these stories, and they can come to the museum from anywhere in the world. This project is something that I may end up working on in the upcoming weeks because all of the rooms have sound in them and it's a virtual experience. So after, my mind was blown by that experience, I had a couple choices to make. The next session that I had marked off was about 3.5 hours after the ending of the second panel, but it was in this ballroom where all of the headliners are. And in order to get into the room, you either have to get in line several hours ahead of time or get a special pass, which wasn't really an option at the point. So I got a piece of pizza and I got in line. But the benefit of getting in line about 2 hours ahead of time is I got into the room in time for an additional session, which just happened to be with Kathy Griffin. This is like the first thing she's done in months in America. I don't know if you guys have heard about any of her controversy, but she's basically blacklisted from Hollywood. Like, she'll basically never work in Hollywood unless people decide to, change their minds or their stances on her actions. And basically she was telling her side of the story and sharing some of the experiences she's gone through, not being able to work here in the States, having to go on tour in Europe, getting death threats, being on the no-fly list for 2 months, having the FBI in constant contact with her, and all that that entails. If you haven't heard anything about it, get on the Googles and go. After Kathy, the main reason I was in this hall, Neil Gaiman was there to promote his Good Omens television show, which he is the showrunner on. It was amazing. Everything I thought it would be, plus more. They showed a clip from the show. They showed the trailer for American Gods. They also had a small interruption from the chattering nuns, which was kind of comical. The talk was really good, and it was basically about his experience writing the book with Terry Pratchett and bringing Good Omens to the screen even after Terry's passing. So it was was really touching, and it was really important to me to get to go to this particular session because Neil Gaiman's influence kind of spurred me into the direction of sound design. So just to be able to interact, even at a distance, it's kind of cool, heroes and whatnot. Anyway, so after the session, I walked outside and was greeted by an angel who told me about this, what they call activation. It's kind of a pop-up, a couple of days of an event. So the Garden of Earthly Delights was in celebration of Good Omens and, Amazon doing the thing. So there was characters and photo booths and food and drinks. They had people doing hair and people doing manicures and hand massages. They had a DJ to celebrate the launch of the show. Then I wandered around after that down a street. Now it's kind of the street that changes throughout the festival. Different houses get swapped out and rented out by different companies. They have parties and events there. The Aerospace Industries Association had some really cool augmented reality tech to show off. I don't know if you can scan the QR code on the screen to check it out. Maybe if you pause it. Some ideas for technology of the future. After that, I headed down to the Bose AR setup. They were kind of showcasing their new sunglasses, basically sunglass headphones with Bose headphones inside of them. But in addition to just playing your music back through an app, they partnered with quite a few companies to make games you can control through gestures and through voice activation. They have fitness apps that can use the glasses as rep counters. They have a meditation series. I didn't get the chance to check that out, but it seemed pretty cool. Lots of walking. I got all my steps in. So walking back down the same street, there was American God's house set up. But when I was taking pictures, the lady standing at the gate was like, "Oh, do you know the show? Do you want to go to the party tomorrow?" So we'll see what happens. I am on a list. But yeah, pretty much after that, just wandered around and ended my day with some Peruvian Creole tacos, which were pretty tasty. I do still have to find some breakfast burrito, official Tex-Mex, but it's on my list. That's it for today. Day 2 down. Talk to you later.